Hey there, Matt Clark here with Rich Henderson, and so today we're going to show you how to choose a product to sell on Amazon. And what's really cool is this actually just came out today. You can see behind me is Jeff Bezos, according to CNN, is actually the richest person in history. And if you don't know, Jeff Bezos is the founder of Amazon. So Amazon now operates in a ton of different countries. They were built here in the US. It's a massive force when it comes to online retail in general, and that's why it's such a huge opportunity. Now, the cool thing is people like you and us is that we can actually build businesses selling products on Amazon. And so the way this whole thing works, which is kind of what I want to explain first, is you could go on there, you could say, okay, great, Amazon is doing extremely well. It's doing something like $170 billion a year in revenue. Amazon's a great opportunity. Maybe I've seen people building businesses on Amazon, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want to do. So you could go to Amazon, and you're going to be like, how the heck do I choose what product to sell? Because there are millions and millions of products available for sale, especially on Amazon.com, but even their international platforms, which some are doing incredibly well. So if you happen to be over in Europe, for example, you can sell Amazon.co.uk, you can sell on Amazon Germany. If you're in Japan, you can sell on Amazon Japan, and there's a handful of other ones that are doing very well. So this applies really no matter where you're at. But first thing is that you have to know, what product do I sell? And so the model that I kind of started with back in the day when I was first building my own business was what was called drop shipping. And that's not what we talk about now. That's not the best model to go with now. So back then, that's all about basically taking somebody else's brand that you're basically helping them build by selling their product for them. And so on Amazon, the way that model really kind of breaks down is you're competing with a bunch of other people who also have access to that same brand, and you're basically trying to sell the same exact product as them, and you at that point you can really only compete on price. You can't really control much of the marketing, you can't control any of the branding, and there's a lot of other limitations. Now, there's a different way to do this business model that I kind of figured out a long time ago. We've really improved. Rich is a big factor in how we sort of teach this now, and it's around what the most common term is private labeling. So instead of building somebody else's brand, you're actually building your own brand. And you can do this from scratch very quickly. You could literally have your own brand up and running in a matter of 2 weeks. Now, more commonly is a couple months between sourcing the product and choosing a product and all that. But anytime within there, you can have your own brand up and running. And when you know what to do, how Amazon works, you can be competing with the biggest brand names on the planet. We'll show you some examples a little later on, a couple of these kind of products, and we're going to show you how to find products to sell. But what you'll notice, if you shop on Amazon, which I'm sure you probably do, what you may not have noticed is that when you search for any kind of random product, could be a face wash or something, and you look on there, you're not necessarily looking like, oh, I'm only going to buy products that are the biggest name brands that I've seen everywhere else. You're more like, I'm looking for a men's face wash or a women's face wash or an organic face wash. Then you're basically trusting Amazon and their search rankings to help you choose which product to sell. And I'm sure you're also looking at reviews. And the cool thing is this means that it's leveled the playing field for people like us, just people who want to build a business that makes money, that maybe frees you from a job, allows you to travel, because this kind of business you can run with basically just a laptop and an internet connection. And we're going to talk a lot about this. But the first critical step is figuring out what product to sell. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So we are live right here on Facebook and on YouTube. So like this video on either one, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, give us a like on Facebook, let us know you can hear us. I'm going to be checking it out here pretty soon. And so do that, leave us any comments. We'll probably have time for some questions. So if you have any questions about selling on Amazon, about the opportunity, about whether you can do this or not, or especially about product selection, go ahead and post those in the comments, and we're going to answer those live. So start doing that right now. I'll be checking them out periodically while we're kind of going back and forth here, and that's what we're going to do. So we're talking all about product selection. And by the way, I am co-founder and chairman of Amazing.com Inc., and this is Rich Henderson, co-creator of Amazing Selling Machine, our flagship program that teaches people how to build a business with Amazon. Also, chief mentor. We basically have a group of people that help people build these kind of businesses, and Rich runs that whole part of our operation. So Rich is absolute master of product selection, and he's going to be talking a lot about that. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So when it comes to product selection, remember the most important thing is that you build your own brand. You don't build somebody else's brand for them, basically like a salesperson. Because the advantage of building your own brand is that, say for example, just to make the example easy, say you were building somebody else's brand, selling their product, versus building your own brand, selling your own product. Say you make the same exact amount of income either way. Say you make, just to make the numbers easy, 10 grand a month. So 10 grand a month, 120 a year. You're selling the same amount regardless. But what happens at the end of a year, 2 years, 3 years, is that if you're building your own brand, that brand now has value, which means you can sell that business. We've had people that have sold these kind of businesses that they started watching the video just much like this. They've sold them for millions of dollars because they built their own brand that has real value. It's a real asset, not just a way to make income. So incredibly important. So that's something you're going to want to keep in mind. That's because one of the criteria we talk about is what we call private label potential, meaning a product that you can basically just put your own brand on. So, an example on the extreme end would be like an iPhone. So an iPhone has so much technology, so expensive, you're going to have a heck of a time. They've got patents all over that thing. You'd have a heck of a time trying to make that your own product. On the other end, the example I mentioned kind of came up with earlier, face wash. Easy one. The ingredients are pretty common. A lot of that stuff is generic. You can have people mix and match, and maybe they likely already have kind of standard formulas. And you're basically just putting your label on the product, your own brand name on the product. Easy product to private label. An iPhone, not so easy to private label. So that's first important thing. So now let's go and take a look at Amazon. And before Rich kind of jumps into the actual products, first thing I want to talk about is a few of the criteria. So we've refined these criteria over time. And so the first one is price. So you want a product that sells between $20 and $70. Can we just show them an example of a product, any product that we can see the price on?
Sure.
So this is basically just the selling price. So this product, for example, sells for $39.89. And so you're looking for a product that sells between $20 and $70. And the reason this is valuable is that if the product's too low, below $20, for example, then you don't have that great of margins from a dollar standpoint. And if you're selling a product that maybe sells for $5, but you get it for 20 cents, your percentage margin is pretty good there. But then when you go out there and try to run ads and that kind of thing, it all breaks down from a profitability standpoint. So we like products that sell for a little more expensive, which means that your dollar margin is a little bit higher. Maybe you make 10 bucks a unit or 20 bucks a unit or 30 or 40 bucks a unit. You can do a lot more advertising, a lot more marketing, a lot more branding if you have that kind of dollar margin. So next thing we like to look at is what Amazon calls best sellers rank. And so this is basically the rank between 1 and hundreds of thousands within any given category that a product is basically number 1 is the best, and then it kind of goes down from there. So number 1 product, number 1 bestseller rank in a category is the number 1 best-selling product in that category. Then it kind of changes down from there. So we like to look for products that have a bestsellers rank between about 500 and 5,000. So the reason for that is that anything over 5,000, meaning that it's the 5,000th or worse best-selling product in that category, may not have enough sales volume to justify all the effort of getting your product live and building your brand. You want a product you can actually make good money at. Below 500, sometimes, and usually, especially when you get down to like top 100, those products can be pretty competitive because everyone's looking at those, everyone's going after those. So when you have the right system, you're looking for products that sell that have bestsellers rank between 500 and 5,000. And so we're going to walk you through a couple examples over here. But last thing we mainly look at, or a couple last things. First off, weight. Weight you can find on your Amazon listing. We like 3 pounds and below. It makes shipping cheap. It makes storage cheaper. So you want a product that's ideally light and small and sells for 3 pounds and below. We've got a couple examples we're going to give you that are actually good opportunities that you can get right now, basically, if you really wanted to sell them. And then the last thing is reviews. So when you're looking for all these things, you're looking for products that ideally have less than 500 reviews. So they got to be in the right price range, the best sellers rank, reviews, and weight. Because reviews are going to matter because you're going to be competing with that product. So say, for example, you create, a men's face wash, and all of them have, thousands and thousands of reviews. And here you come with your new product, and you've got 20 reviews. If you're a consumer out there looking at that, you're going to have a hard time justifying choosing the brand new product with no proof whatsoever and only 20 reviews when you could go buy one that has, 3,000 reviews. And so if you look for a product that has less than 500, it makes it much easier to compete, even if you have a brand new product and have never sold on Amazon before. So that in a nutshell is kind of the criteria we look at. So now I'm going to hand it over to Rich so we can kind of walk you through how this kind of method works of finding product opportunities.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So finding a product is actually, it's quite a simple process, but it is a methodical process and it takes time. You're not just going to be able to jump on here and find products in 5 minutes. You have to be methodical and work your way through it. What we actually do is, because we're looking for the criteria Matt's described, what that does for you is it makes sure that it's got enough sales volume. So once you launch your product, you know when it starts selling, it's going to be selling enough units. But it also means that haven't got too much competition, which is what Matt was talking about with BSR ranges in the top 100. So we keep you away from those. And this is designed purely so that when you launch your first product and it goes up on Amazon, you can both sell enough and relatively easily because there's not too much competition. And the way we do this, the way we did it when we first started, we're going back, I don't know, 5 years now, is we just jumped to the bestseller list, the top 100. The problem with that is obviously it's too competitive now. So going into the top 100 doesn't work. So using Amazon's bestseller list is it's not the best way of doing this by any means. So what we do is we actually use what we call a search string. And that search string is the minus sign plus 8 random letters or more. And you basically, all you need to do is type that in, then you click on all, and you can go and choose a category that you actually want to sell. So for instance, I might be interested in home and kitchen. So I select the home and kitchen category. And then I'm just going to hit the search button. Now what this actually does is, it goes out and pulls the vast majority of products in this category all onto the screen at once. So you're not actually tied to using a keyword. For instance, I might use a keyword in here, silicone spatula. But if you put that keyword into Amazon, that's all you're going to see. Using the search string we use, it shows you all the products that are available. Because you don't want to be tied down to an idea you've got in your head. More often than not, you might go into this business thinking, I really want to sell that product. And what you actually find out is that there are so many more products out there that are more profitable and just easier to sell. So once you've done that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. And in fact, I'm going to jump to kitchen and dining, which is another top level category. And what you'll notice is it's now set up, if I can get my mouse out of the way, it's now pulled the products so that we're actually, if you see here, it's only showing 1 to 24. And we're going to get around that in 1 second. But the first thing I want to do is, Matt talked about the price range. So I'm scrolling down here and I'm going to put into the price range, I'm actually going to put $19.99 and up to $70. And then click go. Now what happens is Amazon's only going to show me products in that price range. So only products that are in the price range that we recommend you go for. But the next thing is we want as many items on this page as possible. We don't want to just have 24 because you have to scroll through pages and pages to get the best results. So we want more on one page. And to do that, you're going to go all the way across the right here where you see sort by relevance. And you want to click on the 4 squares. What that does is automatically you'll see it's now jumped to 60. So it's showing 60 products on this page. What you'll also notice here is this number. 7,258,000 products. Okay, so don't ever listen to anyone who says Amazon's saturated. There are tons and tons of opportunities out there. So once you get to this point, what we're looking for now, there's 2 more criteria we're looking for. 3 in fact. It's the reviews, and we're looking for the weight, and we're looking for the BSR. Now the reviews is really simple because it shows it on this page. The BSR, first of all, going through it manually, you actually have to open the listing. And I'm going to show you that now. So if I scroll down, I'll just grab this first one here. KitchenAid Spiralizer. And I'm going to right click on it and open it in a new tab. And then we go and look at that tab. It's a really impressive listing. I love their images. But if we scroll down to look at the BSR, you can see here it's 173 in beauty and personal care. So it's too low a number. Remember, we only want numbers from 500 up to 5,000. So we would automatically rule this one out. But while we're here, you also notice you can see the reviews as well, even though you can see it on the main page. And again, it's too many reviews. We don't want to compete. I just want to quickly show you one other thing. If we look here, you can see there's 2 lines under Amazon's bestsellers rank. The first one, the top one, is the top level category. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about BSR ranges. And it's really important that you don't take numbers from the subcategories. If you look underneath this one here, number 1 in home and kitchen, kitchen and dining, small appliances, parts and accessories, mix of parts and accessories. They're all subcategories. So the BSR in that range is irrelevant to us. We are not interested. The only one we're interested in is the top level. And you can always note the top level category because it will appear first, but you'll also have this next to it, which is inside brackets. It says see top 100 in whatever category it is. And that's telling you that's a top level category. But so this product, we decided it would be of no use to us. So we'll go back to our list. And then it's just a case of scrolling down. Now, you can use your own judgment here. We only want products of £3 or less. A lot of these products, like this big cast iron Dutch oven, we know that's going to be way too heavy. So we'll ignore it and we go past. We're also going to ignore anything that's a huge major brand. Like for instance, we see these coffee pods. Now coffee pods is not something you want to get into. There's too many huge companies like Starbucks, Keurig, Dunkin' Donuts, all these major companies that are selling them. It's too much hassle. So I'm going to go past that. Got another spiralizer here, but you see they've got too many reviews. What you're going to find is when you start this, the vast majority of times you're not going to find any products on the first few pages because Amazon tend to show you the highest ranked. In other words, the ones with the lowest BSR. Because they're the lowest BSR, they're the most competitive, so they've also normally got the highest reviews. So most of these products are going to have more than 500. So it's a case of scrolling down. This one's got 20, but it's another coffee product. We've got 306 here, the Yeti Rambler. Now Yeti's another huge brand, but let's open it up and take a look. So the reviews is fine, it's 306. If we scroll down, again, the BSR, it's way too low. It's 72 in sports and outdoors. So immediately, we're going to shut that one down. And this is what I said about it being fairly easy, but you have to be methodical and especially patient because you're going to go through a lot of pages before you start finding the results that you want. And I'm going to show you in a second that can actually help you do this. So I'm going to keep going down. This is actually something we've seen appear over the last 6 months. It's become an amazingly popular product. And it's this Comfort Anti-Fatigue Mat. And I'm wishing I had one right now to stand on because I'm standing half on tiled floor and half on a fluffy carpet, which is kind of weird. But this product has become incredibly popular. But you can see it's got 4,500 reviews. And it hasn't been around that long. Again, another thing we're going to avoid is small appliances. Again, they're totally dominated by big brands. And they're also... you want to avoid things that can possibly have, can cause problems for your customers. So there's stuff that plugs into a wall or something along those lines. You don't have to avoid it, but it's just something, again, you just want to be looking, you want to avoid any issues. You want the simplest and easiest way to market. And we'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to keep going down. We're not looking good. And all you do is when you get to the bottom, is click on next page. And you carry on doing this. And it's just a case of going through it over and over again. And I'm going to show you a little trick now. I just want to make sure this is appearing. I'm not sure if the guys have got it on full screen or not. But if you look at this URL, you can see this PG_2 right here. And then further along the page, you can see page equals 2. What this actually refers to is the page you're on for this search on Amazon. So what you can actually do is, if you've been working on this, you've gone through 10 pages, and you want to take a break, you can take a break and walk away, and you can come back and you can just change those numbers. So for instance, if I was on page 10 and I come back later, all I need to do is put in 11 in both those places and hit return. And it's now taken me, you can see like 601, it's taken me all the way to page 11, which it just saves you time. You don't have to go through the same process, the same pages every time you do this. So again, we're just going to scroll down. I'm going to show you one more example using this manual method, and I'm going to show you how to speed it up. So I'm going down. You want to do this slower. I'm jumping past a lot of things here that you probably should check out. But I'm just trying to find something that's quite simple. So this folding proofer shelf kit, I've got no idea what this is. I don't do a lot of cooking myself. So we're okay on reviews. If I'm going to scroll down, let's see if our BSRs are getting any more reasonable. So you can see we've actually jumped to 29,000. So that's like far too high a number. This product does not have enough sales volume. So you instantly know you're not going to be going after this product, even though everything else matches. You've got a nice low weight, low reviews, everything's great, but the BSR isn't. You have to take all of the criteria into account. You can't just pick and choose. It's all of the criteria. But I'm going to show you now how we speed this whole thing up. And it's an extension. There's actually two versions of it. There's a free version, which shows you a little bit of detail, but then there's also a professional version, and it's only $15. And I'm going to show you what it does so you can see why I highly recommend you get it. And it's this one here, DS Amazon Quick View Extended. I'm going to enable it. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to open a new tab, in fact. I'm going to go back to Amazon. I'm going to type the search in again. It's the minus sign followed by 8 or more random letters. I'm going to choose the category Home and Kitchen. Then I'll jump to Kitchen and Dining again. But you'll actually see when this page loads what this does for you, this extended app. If I just scroll down a little bit, I'll show you this example before we move on. It's showing you the BSR on the search page. So I don't need to look. I don't need to open this in a new tab, scroll down, look for the BSR. It's right there in front of me. And it's basically showing us everything we need because you can see the reviews. But if I scroll up a little bit, if I put my cursor over the image, boom, it's showing you all the details of the product. So we can see, whoops, excuse me, you can see right there, 11.83 pounds. So, you know, that's way too heavy anyway. But you don't have to open the tabs. And this speeds up the process incredibly. There are other tools out there you can get that also speed it up, but they're far more expensive. And when you're first getting started, it's $15. I highly recommend you actually go out and buy this. If not, just go through the manual process. But let's quickly jump. Let's go back to Kitchen and Dining. I'm going to scroll down, skip all the... Oh, hang on a minute. I'm going to actually change the 4 squares so we get the 60 results. And I'm going to put in the price as well because it removed it because I'm opening a new tab. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to jump to the next page so that I can use that little trick with the numbers because we've seen those pages. And I'm going to just change it to, let's go to 6 and see what we can find. So I've changed the PG underscore to number to 6 and the page equals to 6. And now we're on page 6. So let's take a look. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see here it's saying loading rank. Now sometimes it also depends on your internet connection and sometimes the app itself is fairly slow. What I can tell you is if you see this happening, what you can actually do sometimes to speed this up is to actually refresh your screen or just hit return again. And it'll load it again. Fingers crossed it's actually going to load it quicker. Sod's law, it probably won't. But I'm going to blame this on the amazing.com internet connection, which is what we normally do. But basically you'd be seeing all the information right here as I showed you on the last screen. In fact, I wonder if it's still pulling it. I'll close those two out. But like for this one, I know this one's fine on weight. It's the automatic salt and pepper dispensers or mills. And if we scroll down, I'm going to go down here. And again, with the app, you don't need to do this. Sod's law with live internet stuff, it failed. I'm hoping by the time we go back, it'll actually be there. But you can see here, 1424 in Kitchen and Dining. So that's in our range. That's in our range from 500 to 5,000. So that's all good. The weight is 1.7 pounds, 1.78 pounds. Again, the weight's perfect. It's within the range. The reviews, however, it's 977. So again, it's a little bit too, it's going to be a little bit too competitive because if you launch against this product and you're going to start with a handful of reviews maybe, it's going to be a lot harder for you. The one thing we have noticed over the past year since Amazon, I'm not going to go into great detail, but they've changed a lot of their rules regarding reviews is it's a lot easier now to compete with other products that have more reviews than you. But once you get up to like 1,000 and beyond, it's very, very hard. So again, this one would be a miss. I'm just going to close this out. And finally, it's loaded all the information. So I'm just going to scroll down and maybe I'll find you one more example here. And then maybe we move on, or if you want to.
Yeah,
a question?
just one question here.
Sure.
Somebody asked again, like, what's the name of the extension?
Oh, it's the DS Amazon Extended. I'll bring it up on Google, and then you can see it exactly. So it's DS Amazon Quick View. The one you want is the extended version. Excuse my tapping. And it's basically a Chrome app, so you need to have the Chrome browser installed. And the one you're looking for, as I said, is extended. You can see the two here. It's just DS Amazon Quick View. That's the free version. You can start out using that if you want. It's got a couple of restrictions that the other one doesn't have, and by all means go and look at it. And here's the second one. So it's DS, Amazon, Quick View, Extended. That's the one, and it's this one here. And it's right there. You know, you just literally add it to Chrome and you're done. And it will automatically appear then.
Cool. And so, yeah, before Rich jumps back in there, one thing I've had multiple people ask is they're just jumping on here live. So there will absolutely be a replay. So we're on Facebook and on YouTube. And so as soon as we get done, you'll be able to actually watch this training back from the beginning. So don't worry, but stay tuned. But yeah, there'll absolutely be a replay. You may want to watch it multiple times. But Amazon, or not Amazon, Facebook and YouTube, they all do that automatically. So no problem.
Okay, cool. So I'm back on the search page. I'm going to start scrolling down. We've got another one of these vacuum sealed packs. It's 403, so that's looking okay. But 160 in sports and outdoors, so again, it's no good to us. But you can see here the value of this app. You know, it's $15. You know, it's a couple of McDonald's meals or whatever, and it shows you everything you need on the search page. So you never need to open another tab. So I'm going to keep going down. What you'll notice is that although Amazon tried to do their best to put these roughly in order of BSR, you will see it jump around. So for instance, you know, we just saw one a minute ago that was at 10,000, 20,000 something, and we're looking here at these containers, and they're actually at 22 in kitchen and dining. So that's incredibly competitive product, even though it's showing up on page 6. And you just have to get used to that. And again, it's why the extended app is so good, because it shows you this, and you don't have to keep opening every tab. So I'm going to keep going down, and this one's quite interesting. So it's showing at 1133 in kitchen and dining, so the BSR is good. The reviews just a tad over the top, right? So it's 542, but it's pretty close. This, when it comes to the criteria, if you want to stretch things a little bit, you know, 10% max. Like, don't go beyond that. So this one's actually a product I would definitely look at. So what I would do in this situation is, this product, I'm interested in it. I'm going to check the weight. Please don't be 5 pounds. It's 2.29. So that's good. So everything's good. And all I do here is I'd open this in a new tab. I would create a file, like a spreadsheet. And you want to start the spreadsheet, and you want to list the URL so you can get back to it easily, what the product name is, just a short version of it, the number of reviews, the BSR, and the weight, so that then you can compare. Because what you want to be doing is you want to go out and get like 15 to 20 of these, put them in a spreadsheet, so you can look at them all at once, rather than just going, I found a product, that's my product. Because you want to find more and more products. The more products you look at, the more time you spend doing this, the better your results are going to be. So I would add this to my spreadsheet, and boom, we've got our first product to look at further. I'm going to just grab one more quickly. So this Kohler Mason pepper grinder, it's 2177. The price is okay, and that's 2177 in kitchen and dining. And again, you can see that it's showing you, the DS app shows you top 100 right next to it, and that's showing you that that is the top level category. You ignore all the other ones. So again, this is a possibility. So I just checked the weight, 6.4 ounces, so that's ideal. I mean, in an ideal world, you want something that's light and small. Like, the lighter and smaller it is, the better it is, because when it comes to shipping and all the other, when it comes to shipping it to Amazon, it just makes things so much cheaper. But it doesn't have to be. It's just a preference if you can find it. So I would add this to my spreadsheet. And then that's it. You know, it's just a case of going through these pages. I've just shown you, I'm on page 6, and we've just found 2 that we could take a closer look at. And it's just a case of going through more and more pages. Remember that trick for the pages? When you're tired, your eyes start getting blurry, or in fact, just because you want a break, then take that break. All you need to do is copy the URL. So you would go up, this entire URL, copy it, put it in a file somewhere, and then when you come back, put that URL into your browser, and then just carry on from there, because you're starting from where you were.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, the process we typically recommend is doing exactly what Rich just said, and then basically creating a list of 15 to 20 of these potential opportunities. And then once you do that, then you kind of have a good list of opportunities. Some you'll like more than others. Some will stand out as better opportunities. Some may be kind of on the margin, maybe, you know, 2.9 pounds or a little bit over 3 pounds, or price is a little bit, you know, $19, $18 or a little bit higher. And so it's all fine. Just create a list of 15 to 20 that are all pretty good, that are pretty close to all these criteria. And then after that, you basically start narrowing it down. So you'll narrow it down into a handful. You'll start contacting some suppliers, which we're actually going to cover that in another live session, and I'll tell you how you can figure out how to find suppliers in just a couple minutes. We actually have training you can watch right now. But yeah, so then you find some suppliers and you get some pricing, and you kind of narrow that down into one product, because by then you know the profit margin. Somebody asked earlier, what kind of profit margin do you recommend? And for us, it's normally 25 to 40% or so is good, and that's after all costs considered. That means whatever you sell your product for, less Amazon fees, product costs, shipping costs, packaging, and Amazon FBA fees, and so all that sort of stuff considered, at the end of the day, you may walk away with 25 to 40%. If you're doing 100 grand a month, that's 25 to 40 grand a month, basically in your pocket. So that's kind of the margin that we typically look for, and so that in a nutshell is how the product selection process works. Now, what we wanted to do is give you a couple opportunities and show you what these opportunities really look like. So we now have on Rich's computer over here, so these are basically lens cleaning wipes, and these sell for $21.88, so on the lower end of that margin. And so we've kind of run some calculations, and our best estimate is this product probably sells about $48,000 a month. $48,000 a month, let's call it 50 grand a month. And so that's about $600,000 a year. $600,000 a year is not a small amount of money. It's at 25% margin, that's 150 grand a year, which is more than most people's salaries. So if you have a job or that kind of thing, you're kind of like, well, I want to build my own business to replace my income or add to my income, or so we can travel or do things with my friends and family. A single product, if you know how to find them and all that sort of stuff, can do that for you. I mean, this is one example of a product that can do that. And this is actually a product that we did all the research we just talked about. And basically, this is a good opportunity. You can literally go sell those right now. Other one Rich has pulled up over here is basically a green superfood. I've actually got some similar stuff to that in my house. But yeah, this is another good opportunity that we've basically been through this whole process. This product, based on our estimation, sells about $42,000 a month. Also a lot of money, so this is from a single product. And the cool thing is that when you get into this business, because you're building your own brand, you absolutely want to stay focused at first, focus on your first product, get it up and live, do all the good marketing stuff, and then whenever that product is kind of stable, producing good, consistent sales, then you can start expanding your brand into multiple products. So this one, if we could show frequently bought together, or customers who bought this also bought. So you'll notice a couple sections here. So one more at the top is frequently bought together. And so that other product is a protein powder. So by the same company, the one that we were looking at is a greens powder, and the frequently bought together is a protein powder. Very similar products, but they do serve different health purposes. And the cool thing is that if you built your own greens powder and you were up there selling it, cranking along, and you're like, wow, this brand is doing great. I've got one product though. I want to have multiple products. I don't want to just be doing $42,000 a month. I want to be doing 82, a couple $100,000, $1 million a month. Believe it or not, we have people that do that. Whatever your sort of goal is, then you can look and use Amazon as a research tool in terms of what product to sell next. So you may find that selling a related protein powder, probably vegan and organic and all that, is a good item to add to your brand. Because the cool thing is that your existing customers are highly likely to buy that. And so whereas you may have started with the first product, ground zero, no resources, never sold on Amazon, no list, no none of that, which is fine, which is how a lot of people start. When you get your second product ready and you're ready to expand your brand, you already have all those customers in the existing brand. You can run cross coupons and do social promotions and all kinds of cool stuff. And you'll see there's another section Rich has. Customers who bought this also bought. There's a bunch of them there. I don't remember how much they usually list. It's probably 30 or so. Well,
the first 7 are all the same brand. So that's exactly what Matt's talking about. So,
yeah, and so that's how people basically start with these businesses, and they basically start with one product, they expand to multiple products, and they end up either just running the business as kind of a cash flow business, or they want to run it to make it even bigger, or they end up selling it. We got a lot of people that have built these kind of businesses, and they built them from a cash flow standpoint. They're traveling, doing things with their friends and family, loving it, having fun. They have no interest in selling. Other ones are like, you know what? I don't care what product I sell. I want to build a good, solid business, and I want to sell this thing so I can cash out. And so some of them will sell the business for millions of dollars, which is a life-changing amount of money. And so then, funny thing is, after that, a lot of them are back building another business because they like it. But it does give them that sort of cash windfall, which changes their life forever. So that's the value of building your brand. That's the value of doing product selection using what we just covered. Now, we've kind of run through this product selection method. You can go back through this live video that we've just done. It's going to be automatically replayed on Facebook and on YouTube. And so you feel free to watch it there. We also have a free training series, more basically free content that you can access at AmazingSellingMachine.com. If you go to AmazingSellingMachine.com, you'll notice there's a free training link. You can also just get it from the homepage. That'll give you 4 videos that walk you through a little more detail in terms of product selection. Walks you through some how to find suppliers. It also walks you through the marketing side of things, how to get products ranked on Amazon. So say you're like, I want to sell these lens cleaning wipes. You go through the steps and you basically get your product live. You're like, now what? Like, how do I actually get sales? That's what that 3rd video in that free series is all about. And the 4th video basically wraps all this stuff together and talks about a program we have that'll basically help you do everything from start to finish. We've had people that have mentioned it on here. Somebody else I saw just a minute ago. So Charity DeVry says, ASM totally changed our lives. So if you want to, you can learn all about that in the 4th video. First 3 videos, all pure content. And the cool thing is each one of those, you get free bonuses along with them. So, we showed you 2 products here that both do between $40,000 and $50,000 a month that are great opportunities. We have a list of 100 of those. So you can get the other 98 by going to AmazingSellingMachine.com and basically opting in. And below that first video is how you get access to that list of 100 brand new product opportunities. And we literally just selected these in the past month or so. So they're brand new and they are good opportunities right now. If we wanted to, we could build businesses with these right now, but instead we're giving them to you so you can go out there and do that, or at least you can see them as examples. So if you want, you can go do something similar using what you've learned today and in that free video series. So if you haven't yet, go to AmazingSellingMachine.com to get access to the 4-part free training series and the bonuses, including 100 hot products. And we also have some other cool things, like we give you our private freight forwarder contact and a lot of other cool stuff.
I managed to freeze it on me. I thought that was pretty cool.
Typical. Let's see. So I'll post the URL here, or I don't know if you have.
You won't be able. I don't know if they'll be able to see it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna post the URL. So AmazingSellingMachine.com. Because somebody was just asking about that. Let's see if we can get into a few questions here, because we are at about. Let me double check. Cool. So we're about 40 minutes, so we've got a few questions we can get into. Dominique says, can you go over the criteria again to select a product? So number of reviews, less than 500, bestsellers rank between 500 and 5,000, weight less than 3 pounds, and price $20 to $70. Look at that. That's pretty good.
I just want to bring up one quick point. I don't know if any eagle-eyed people have spotted it. I'm not looking at the comments. The product, the green superfood, I actually brought up the wrong image, so the wrong product, so that had more reviews. But if you actually, the list Matt's talking about, that product's actually on it, and you'll see there that I think it's got like 200 reviews or something, the right product. I apologize, I pulled up the wrong product. So.
Let's see. I don't know if you can show this again. So Dan is asking, how do you change the number of items from 20 to 60 per page?
I can do that.
And so we'll see if we can go full screen with that again real quick. So so the question is, how do you change the number of items from 20 to 60 per page?
Right, so you should be seeing that screen. That is what you will see normally when you first get there. But all you need to do is just move your mouse all the way up to the right. You can see where it says sort by relevance, and you've got these 2 icons, one with lines and one with squares. Just click on the squares, and there you go. It's going to show you 60 instead of 24.
Cool. So John here says, what do I have to do legally for the brand I create to be my own to sell? So the steps you really just need to follow, because you can kind of make a brand name up anytime you want. You just want to make sure there's not anybody else currently using it. And so especially if you're in the US, like the best way is to just do a kind of a US trademark search, so US trademark search. And if you just search US trademark search, it's pretty easy to find out. You type in whatever brand name you're thinking, and then you can find out if anybody else is using it. It's pretty quick to do. You can also just do basic Google searches. If you're familiar with Google searches, take the brand name, put it in quotes, so you can find that exactly, especially if it's multiple words. and that's a good option to figure out if anybody else is using it. Search for it on Amazon. You can do all that kind of good stuff. As long as it's not showing up in any of those locations, then you should be good to be able to use it. If you always want an extra layer of comfort, you can always feel free to talk to an attorney, but they're likely not going to do anything else more complex than that. Oh, so you had it up, showed up there, so yeah.
The site's USPTO, it's a US Gov site. You just want to go on there, you can search for patents, but you can search, when it comes to brand names, you just got to check trademarks. And then you also just want to search on Google too, and on Amazon to see if anyone else has got that. As long as you're clear and you've got your own brand name, that's pretty much it, you know? Like, once you've registered your brand name and then you trademark it yourself, it's no problem whatsoever to be able to sell that brand, including the products and the business that comes with it.
Yeah, so that's a good point. That's what I was going to say is that, you know, if you're first getting started, you know, obviously I would recommend buying in the .com domain just because it's, you know, $10 or so or cheaper if you can find coupons and stuff. Go get that. I mean, that's super easy because then you can always say later, I own this domain based on X date. So if somebody else starts using something similar, you can show that you had it first, and so that can kind of help you out. But, you know, getting a trademark can cost, you know, $400 or $500. You can get it from like LegalZoom.com. There's a cost to register the trademark, and there's a cost for them to do the legal paperwork. And I believe it ends up being about, you know, $500 or so. And so you can go there, and I would recommend doing that once you got your brand kind of up and running. Yeah. Because you don't want to go spend, you know, $500 when you're trying to spend money on inventory. You don't even know if you're going to stick with this brand or this product and all that. So make sure that it's available and everything like that, but you're kind of operating under the radar at first. And when you feel that you've got some comfort, you're going to stick with this thing, then, you know, as soon as you're ready to do that and invest that money, it's a good use of money, because then you have the trademark. You don't have to worry about changing a brand or anything like that later, which can be kind of an issue. Cool. So yeah, so Charity says, easy peasy. We filed for our trademark for our brand this year. So Jim, you probably didn't see the beginning of this call, which is cool. So there's going to be a replay here, but he's asking about how about drop shipping. And so the challenge with drop shipping, that's the first business that I started off with before Amazon and even selling on Amazon. The issue with that is you're selling somebody else's brand. And so you're not building up a company that can really be as easily valuable as if you have your own brand. I'm not going to say you can never build a dropshipping business that can't be sold, because that's not true. You can, but it's much easier to do it if you own your own brand, and you can control the entire marketing process. Your margins are going to be higher. I remember back in the day I was doing a lot of dropshipping, and then I had a product that just kept rising up on my own e-commerce store, absolutely crushing it, and then I found out I could create my own brand of that product, and basically overnight my margins tripled. Because I own the brand, there's not essentially a middleman, because usually there's a brand, then a manufacturer that could sometimes be the same company, and then there's you. And so with you going directly to the manufacturer to create your own brand, you're kind of cutting out the middleman, which means your margins go up. And especially on Amazon, there's something called the buy box, which means that Amazon doesn't want there being, you know, 100 listings for the same exact branded product. So they basically lump them all together, and then only one person gets that sale every time somebody buys one. So if you basically don't have the lowest price for that drop ship product selling somebody else's brand, you're likely not going to get any sales. And so trust me, like, you kind of learn this the hard way, and also through experience helping other people, is that creating your own brand a much better way to go than focusing on drop shipping. So I'm going to put you on the spot here, Rich. Zarina says, I live in Africa. Do I need to set up an LLC in the States in order to set up a professional account in Amazon?
Yeah, it depends. I'm going to welch out on this question, but it does depend. It depends which country in Africa. There are some countries which is perfectly okay. You can go ahead, just do it the same way as anyone else did, you know, living in the US or in Europe. If there are other countries which are slightly more difficult, for those, that's the normal way. There's two ways you can do it. You can either get a friend or family member. We actually, when you go to the videos that Matt was talking about, one of the downloads actually explains all this. There's a download that shows you which countries, there are 3 different groups. Depending on which group you're in, there's different things you need to do. But for instance, if you're in Nigeria is a problematic one with Amazon. So that's the most difficult case kind of thing. You would have to set up an LLC in America and a bank account in America for that company, or get some, like a friend or family member who's in one of the other countries. It's easier to set up the account for you. Those are the 2 ways you can do it. But if you go over to those videos at amazingsellingmachine.com/opportunity, then actually on that video itself, that video comes with a download telling you about the countries, which group they're in, and what you need to do for each group.
Cool. Yeah, so we're getting a lot of good questions over here, so we'll try to jump into as many of these as we can over the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. So where did this one go? So Mason over on YouTube is asking, when will you be releasing the 100 hot opportunity list? It's available now. If you just go to AmazingSellingMachine.com, you click the free training link, and you'll be able to get access to that list of 100 products plus the 4 training videos. It's all available right now. Let's see. So here's a question. So with the DS Amazon tool, the bestseller rank, they're asking if it's an average over a time frame, or is it basically just the current bestseller rank?
I think it's like they pull it direct from Amazon. So basically what the app does is it does, instead of having to open the tab yourself, the DS Amazon app does that for you. It's not in a database. It actually goes and scrapes the actual information from the listing. So it's like it's as recent as it possibly can be because it's on the screen. So it's not like from a month ago or anything like that. It's not like one of these tools that uses a database. It's direct. It pulls it straight away. So it's like almost instant, basically.
Cool. And then Stanislava is asking, which maybe you give your take first and kind of like let people know the kind of limitations around this, then I'll give my input. But like they're asking, like, would you recommend starting with supplements? Okay,
so supplements, there's huge pluses, but there's also huge minuses. So when it comes like the pluses, the profit margin on supplements is enormous, right? You'll actually be amazed. You see all these supplements in the stores and everything. When you actually go direct to the supplier, in other words, the manufacturer, and how much those supplements actually cost, it's very, very low cost. So your profit margin is big, which enables you to spend more on advertising. The downside is, there's 2 big downsides. One is competition. There's an insane amount of competition on Amazon for supplements. So it's much, much harder to compete with. And yes, you've got more profit margin, so you can afford to spend more on marketing, but then you're almost back to square one. And secondly, you need to get approval for most supplements now on Amazon. It varies depending on what type of supplement. For instance, a dietary supplement like a Garcinia or Respi Ketones, those kind of products, you need to get approval from Amazon. It's not as hard as you might think, but you have to it's kind of putting the cart before the horse, because you have to have your supplier give you invoices and also MS, I can't remember what the name of the sheet is, basically a sheet listing all the ingredients and what's in it and how it's produced. You have to give those to Amazon before they'll approve you to sell supplements. So there's a huge upside and a huge downside. Me personally, for your first product, it's not something I would recommend. I would recommend you choose something simpler, easier to get started with. There's nothing to stop you going, I don't know, choosing a silicone spatula. Don't choose a silicone spatula. But something really simple like that, selling that, getting used to the whole process, and then moving over to supplements.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, we've got a lot of members, to be honest, that absolutely crush it selling supplements. But a lot of them also got started like 3 or 4 years ago when it wasn't quite as complicated to start selling them. So, I mean, I would say that like, if you want to go all in on this thing and for whatever reason you like supplements, you like the idea of it, you know people who sell them, or maybe you've got an existing brand or something you're really into, and if you're willing to put in the extra cost, likely time and hassle, then I don't think it's a bad idea. But if you're literally just kind of like starting from ground zero and you're like, yeah, I kind of want to try this Amazon thing out, I kind of want to build a brand, then it's probably not worth going there because it's going to be just kind of extra complexity you don't need. So we got a couple questions here, so kind of related, so I'll cover them all at once. So this one from Alex, which some other people asked, similar ones. If we all got the same exact list of 100 products, how this product's going to make any profit 2 months from now if there's going to be at least a bunch of people selling them? So that's a good point, yeah. So we like to give you this list of 100 products. You could literally go build a business with any one of these, and if you move fast and if you hustled, and you learned how to sell all this stuff and you did everything right, you could do very well. You just got to move fast before everyone else does. In reality, most people are not going to go sell those products. In reality, you probably won't go sell those products. You could if you want to, but you can also use the training here and use the training at AmazingSellingMachine.com in video number 1 to basically figure out how to find your own product opportunities. So you can really go either route. It's perfectly fine to go sell one of these if you want. It's not going to be as crazy competitive as you would imagine just because we've given this list to a lot of people. But if you're concerned about that, we're basically teaching you how to go find your own as well. So either way kind of works, but if nothing else, they're still valuable because you can see a bunch of examples. So if you go find your own, and if you're like, well, this refrigerator I found, oh wait, I see why it doesn't look like anything like those products because it's super heavy. And so it can kind of help you out in that respect too. So hopefully
there's a really good example I can give you. I can't remember, I think it was last year when we released one of these lists, and one of our members actually had a product that was on the list, and they contacted us and said, oh my God, like I can't believe you've done that. That's my product and all this kind of thing. The thing is, he didn't contact us till like a month later, so there's nothing we could do about it. The list was out there. The interesting thing is, I kept in touch with him. 3-4 months later, he didn't have any new competitors. And so that's the thing. You can use that list. I'm going to mess with your minds a little bit now, and you can double guess it and say, well, everyone's going to think everyone's using it, so I'm not going to use it. But like they're thinking that, then they're not going to use it, so I'm going to use it. At the end of the day, it's a list of examples to show you that there are a huge amount of opportunities out there for you. But it's also a ready-made list. Like if you take one of those, you can run with it. If you want to go and watch the training, there's enough training in those 4 videos that you can run with it and get started. So pick one of them. Go out and contact the suppliers after you've watched that list. Go through it. There's money in all of those products, basically. But my personal preference, I'm a great believer in teaching people to fish rather than just giving them fish. Go through the process yourself. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did. That's my saying. Yeah.
Oh, it's yours. You invented that?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought that was from the Bible.
No.
Anyway, so I'm going back to the story. Go through it. Learn how to do it yourself. And by all means, you might actually find, in fact, you're going to find that you'll go through that process and you will find some of the products on that list anyway. But it's completely up to you. Make a decision. But my big preference, make sure you learn the process before you jump ahead. My personal view, not Matt's.
So we got a question here. Actually, let me cover this other one that I don't have pinned because I've kind of been pinning some of these. So this one, we've had a couple related ones. So, Alex says, what would you do with a $4,000 startup investment? Plenty of money to get started. That's typical startup cost for people is around a couple grand. We've had people that have started with as low as say $500. It's mainly just inventory and shipping costs. Some people started with a lot more money. For whatever reason, we wouldn't necessarily recommend it. We kind of find out about this stuff later. $4 grand, plenty of money to get started. So you spend a couple grand on inventory. You've got some money reserved for branding, doing a bit of extra marketing, giving some products away to get some reviews. And so that kind of gives you a good buffer room. You can totally do this thing on about half of that budget. But with your $4 grand that you're talking about, plenty of money to kind of get up and running. So other question I want to get into is, so Chris is asking, do you suggest someone start from the US? So I guess you're saying you're from the US. Do you recommend starting on Amazon.com or Amazon UK? And he specifically says for lower competition, which is true. You know, Amazon UK, Amazon Germany, Amazon Japan, they all do a lot of volume, billions and billions of dollars, and they're all great opportunities, and they are going to be lower competition, but they're also lower sales. I mean, as many billions of dollars in revenue those platforms produce, Amazon.com is just bigger. I mean, that's the main platform for Amazon. But if you're in the US, recommend starting Amazon.com. It's going to be easier for you. There's extra steps you have to do to go sell sort of in another country that you don't live in. And so if you live in the US, sell on Amazon.com. If you live in Europe, likely Amazon UK if you speak English. If you happen to speak German, maybe Amazon Germany. If you live in Japan, Amazon Japan is great. And those are kind of the main platforms we would recommend. Because I mean, there's decent volume on like Amazon Spain, Amazon France, and so if you live in those countries, you could sell on those, but it still might be a better option if you just pick one of the bigger ones like Amazon UK, because you don't want to do everything right and then be like, wow, like there's just not enough sales volume on here to justify all that I've done, and I'm just not getting enough money out of this thing. So you want to pick one of the big kind of 4.
And it's convenience too. So I mean, if you're living in the US, selling in the US, everything's more convenient. You're there, you're selling in the same country. You understand how that country thinks, because there are differences. So stick to what you know. If you're in the UK, sell in the UK. If you're in Germany, sell in Germany. Because if you're selling in either of those European ones, you can then expand into the other ones that Matt mentioned, like France, Spain, Italy, without actually doing any extra work. But sell in the country you're in to start with, absolutely. And then you can always expand into the other ones.
Yep. So Alisra has a related question. I live in the UK and I'm planning to sell in the UK market first. Should I go through my product selection process on Amazon UK or rather than Amazon.com? Yes, absolutely. If you want to sell in the UK, then basically follow this exact same process, but do it on the UK marketplace. Just because a product sells extremely well and meets all the criteria in the US does not mean that it's going to meet those same criteria over there, and vice versa. You could find that a product does not meet the criteria here. Maybe it's got 2,000 reviews and that's all you can find, but over there it's got a couple hundred reviews, and so it does meet the criteria. So definitely do all the same research on the platform you actually plan to sell on. And good question here. So sometimes the product's price is very low, but they require a super high minimum order quantity that skyrockets the total price. And so what this person is basically saying is that you may find that product can sell for right in the range, 25 bucks on Amazon, but when you go find suppliers, they want you to buy, 2,000 units or something like that. And you're like, well, I don't want to spend, multiple tens of thousands of dollars just to get started because I don't have that money. I don't want to spend that money. And so you're like, well, I'm stuck. I can't sell this product. May or may not be true. And in most cases, it's probably not true. So if you're going out there and sourcing products, find multiple suppliers. They're going to have different minimum order quantities. And the minimum order quantities they say are likely going to be different than what they actually are. And what I mean say, not literally they're lying to you, but what they post on like Alibaba and that kind of thing, when you actually start talking with them, they're usually lower. They just kind of trying to scare off people that aren't serious about this. And so talk with a bunch of them, reach out to a bunch of them, and really pry into what their real minimum order quantities are. And at the end of the day, you may find out that nobody is budging. And for whatever reason, nobody wants to give you minimum order quantity that'll make the real estate investment, that'll make the inventory investment work for you. And so you go find another product. That's why we recommend starting with a list of 15 to 20. And so that'll give you plenty of backup options. But usually you'll be able to find something that'll be able to work even within the same product. Let's see here.
And don't forget, like I don't know if you mentioned it, I might have missed it, but when it comes to suppliers, video 2 covers all of that. Matt did mention it earlier. So by all means, go and check it out because it talks about MOQs and how to get lower MOQs. So don't let that panic you.
Cool. So we'll probably just take like 2 more questions and we've got to run here. So Vedotas says, hey guys, thanks for your advice. I live in Turkey. Could you advise me on how to start and handle this business from here? I don't know if you want to give them...
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Turkey is an accepted country in the US. For Amazon US, if you're in Turkey, I would probably say sell in the US first. So that's where you set up your Amazon account, is actually in the US. You can do it in the UK too. I'm pretty sure Turkey are acceptable for both. Again, off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to tell you certainly that it's in Group 1 or Group 2. But if you go and watch the first video underneath, you put in your email, you'll be sent a list of countries. I'm pretty sure Turkey's in Group 2, which means you can use a normal Amazon, set up a normal Amazon account, and then you just need to use a third party to accept money from all that money you're going to make. You need somewhere to accept that because they won't accept a Turkish bank. But go check, because if it's in Group 1, you've got no problems at all.
Cool. I'm trying to see if there's one more question I want to cover. So some people are asking, I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Some people are asking, I've been waiting 2 months. When is ASM available? If you go to AmazingSellingMachine.com, you can get the 4-part free training series. You can get the list of 100 products. A lot of other cool bonuses. You'll also notice that you can watch the video that tells you everything inside of Amazing Selling Machine. So for right now, if you want to, you can actually go over there and grab your spot in Amazing Selling Machine today. So it is available right now as of today while we're doing this live session. So you can jump over there and do that. Or if you want, you can just go get the free training and the free downloads and use that to kind of get started. So either option is available. So thanks everyone by the way, for watching, and also for everyone who's liked and commented. We got over 129 likes over on Facebook, a lot of engagement over on YouTube, a lot of people sharing. So thank you very much for that. Helps us kind of get the word out. And at the end of the day, what this does for a lot of people, we've seen it change so many lives. I mean, families have been transformed by building this exact kind of business, starting right where you're at right now, watching this video, like, who the heck are these 2 guys standing in front of this TV? That's how a lot of people started, and they end up basically building a business that changes their lives. So you helping us get the word out is very appreciated. So before we go ahead and jump over to AmazingSellingMachine.com, get your free access to the training and the list of 100 product opportunities, including the 2 that we covered here. If nothing else, you can also go watch this replay, which should be available Facebook and YouTube within the next half hour or so. So thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you soon.